From Pocono Raceway in Long Pond, Pennsylvania, the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series is ready to take on the Tricky Triangle. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Independence Racing Network. Tonight, Mike Wright and the rest of the Monday Night NASCAR field is ready to take on the Tricky Triangle here just off of Route 940 in beautiful Northeastern Pennsylvania, right here in the heart of the Pocono Mountains. These three turns have been nothing but treacherous for the other series in NASCAR this week, and I'm sure tonight will be no different. I'm Dave Regal here in the Conshohocken, Pennsylvania studios of the Independence Racing Network, and I'll be with you every step of the way, from the green flag to the checkered flag, here on the Independence Racing Network. And welcome in tonight. Glad to have you with us. If this is your first time tuning in on YouTube.com, make sure that you subscribe and turn on those bell notifications, as that helps the other folks on YouTube find us out there and see your friends and family, your co-workers out here on the track. Taking a look right now at Zach Osborne in the number 16 Toyota Supra, sponsored by 1110, and he is on his first qualifying lap. And as he rolls it on through turn one and heads down the backstretch, you can see, out of turn three and down the front stretch, we can see that he's just getting up to speed now as he heads for turn one. And we see him setting up, probably going to be following the traditional line here, as he is going to drop down to that yellow. And a lot of drivers not taking that very close to the yellow line. Very close to the yellow line. There we go. Tonight's entertainment brought to you by the good friends over there at Jim Beam, that Kentucky bourbon, keeping everybody lubricated for centuries and centuries to come. Mike Wright is driving the number 9 Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet tonight, and we will talk about that paint scheme this evening, as we do have a special reason to see so many drivers out here, as Mike Wright has posted pole time here with a 53.78 as his time, so he's decided to take that right on back to pit road. Bob Nestor here in the number 29 Toyota Supra. This is a home track for him, as his stepdad was on the crash crew here at Pocono Raceway back in the 80s. So Bob definitely very familiar with all of these sections of asphalt here. And, you know, quite frankly, it shows, as he is out here on his second qualifying lap in the number 29 Napa Toyota Supra, and he brings that Napa Auto Parts machine down to cross the start-finish line. Does he beat the time? No, he does not. And in the meantime, Eugenio Alonso in the number 86 Napa Auto Parts Toyota Supra posts a P2 time. So a lot of Napa Auto Parts vehicles up atop the pile tonight. Chris Claude finishing his qualifying effort at P7, and now P8 as Aaron Mack has jumped up the leaderboard. Take a look here at Doug Argabright in the Great Clips, number 38, as he is out for his qualifying effort. A lot going on here at, my goodness, Pocono Raceway, and we're just going to pull up some of the info for this evening. Of course, we always want to make sure. I guess it doesn't want to come up tonight, does it? Fair enough. Bear with me, folks, as for some reason, the race info not trying to be pulled up tonight. Nothing like a little technical difficulty right out of the gate. Of course, not near as horrible as last week. We do apologize for not being on the air last week, as we had a little hiccup in pre-race, and it just could not get itself settled out. So anyway, I guess without that, we'll have to do it with use your imagination. But Mike Wright in the number 9 Chevrolet sits atop the pile tonight so far on the leaderboard, and also sits atop the pile in our season standings, as he has 9 wins on the season already, looking for number 10 here in Long Pond, as we're watching Bennett Allen in the number 3 Toyota Supra as he is out on his opening lap for Money House Racing, just getting warmed up, as Matt Gaskins in the number 79 Ford Mustang also getting wound up. Right now, the only drivers who haven't gone out to qualify yet are Tony Blazer, Chad Sanner, Ian Humphreys, Randy Belk, and Zachary Vaughn in the number 91. However, there's still plenty of time left, and while we are looking at all that time, we will take a moment here and pay some bills here from our good friends over at Northeastern Fire and Air. In 2007, Ray Regal had a vision of serving his fellow firefighters' breathing air needs better. As a City of Reading firefighter since 1975, he knows the difficulties of finding the best and most affordable service company to care for and manage the most important means of survival firefighters have: breathing air. Northeastern Fire and Air is committed to providing our brothers and sisters with the best service in the industry and at an affordable cost. For more information, call 610-207-6608 for a consultation today, and know that you can breathe easy with Northeastern Fire and Air.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
I know belts and hoses, not X and O's. I do O2 sensors, but not defenses. Yeah, I make a right call to keep your car in the game. Don't even need a playbook, it's all in my brain. Fuel injectors, alternators, radiators too. It's who I am, it's what I do. Never know how. Never know how.
And welcome back to Long Pond, Pennsylvania in the beautiful Pocono Mountains. Taking a look right now at my good friend Tony Burt in the number 4 Chevrolet Camaro, as he has that trackbookings.com machine wound up going into turn number 1. And as he goes into 1, we can see him rolling that, staying a little high here on his opening lap of qualifying, as right now just trying to get some heat into those tires, which nobody can blame me for here at Pocono, because once you get through this tunnel turn here, of course, this is where the tunnel that gets you in and out of the racetrack, hence its name, is we all of a sudden come down here into turn number 3, and it's almost flat. Very low banking here, so Tony trying to get that heat up, and we're going to see a lot of drivers tonight as they come through turn number 3, basically taking that like a road course, using that like an apex, and so far so good for Tony Burt, who looks like he is going to get on the standings at P16, and now we should see him a little bit more aggressive. These drivers getting themselves all lined up here after their qualifying efforts. And right now, you will have to forgive me. We are having a slight problem with our timing and scoring. The graphics are not trying to show up on screen. There they are. That was confusing. Things just a little slow tonight. Not sure what's going on. There was just an update in not only iRacing, but also, that's interesting. It still thinks that we are, well, this will take a moment. It still thinks that we are in qualifying mode, so we'll have to get that settled out for you, as that's going to be irritating. So our qualifying order, since it won't currently pop up on your screen, goes just like this. Sitting on the pole position this evening is Mike Wright, your points leader in the number 9 Chevrolet, followed by Eugenio Alonso in the number 86 Toyota Supra. Both of those machines having Napa Auto Parts paint schemes this evening, followed by Bob Nestor, Bobby Blazer, Brandon Minto, and Doug Argabright on the outside of row number 3. Row number 4 is Aaron Mack and Carlos Ramos, Zach Osborne and Brad Gunn in row 5, Bennett Allen and Chris Claude in row 6, John Bawalda III and Chad Sanner in row 7, Corey Burkett and Tony Burt in row 8. Row 9 is made up with Matthew Gaskins on the inside and Ian Humphreys on the outside. Randy Belk starts 19, and starting shotgun on the field is Zachary Vaughn in the number 91 Toyota Supra. And as we can see here, and we will go out to our drone cam, we do want to make sure that we are acknowledging this paint scheme here specifically, the number 9 Chevrolet Camaro. Ladies and gentlemen, there are several times in our lives that, we don't see coming. And as the field has come off pit road, we do see Mike Wright, our points leader, in a different paint scheme. And tonight, Mike is supporting one of our own. Tonight, we as the Monday Night NASCAR family are coming together to lift up one of our own. And the person who we are lifting up tonight is in deep mourning right now. Jeff Carson, the normal driver of the number 9 Napa Auto Parts Toyota Supra on Joe Gibbs Racing, lost his dad Thomas yesterday morning. At this time, the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series drivers are forming a 4-wide salute in memory of Thomas Carson and in support of our brother Jeff Carson. The 4-wide salute is significant in the NASCAR community, as it is a blockade across the racetrack. We stand shoulder to shoulder with our brother in solidarity. No one can get around us when we stand together. No one can come between these brothers as we stand together. And as we look through the field, we see all of these drivers standing together with our brother. We see all of these drivers in one big body holding our brother up in their time, in his time of sorrow. No racing can go on when we are 4 wide, not even under green. And we are now going to take these few moments, as there is no radio traffic right now. The drivers' radios are silenced and their hearts are focused on their comrade. And we will take a moment in silence. We see Mike Wright here in his honorary Jeff Carson paint scheme, rolling past. And he rides alone, but he is followed by these other 19 drivers who are here to support their brother. We are now one to go as the field will reform. And you have to remember that while this field is reforming, fathers, dads are informing us into the people that we are in everyday life. Many of us are blessed to call our dad our friend. Some of us our best friend. So as we take this moment in silence, please remember the entire Carson family as they absorb the loss of their father, their dad, Thomas. All of these drivers are set for 90 laps, and these drivers tonight are ready to rock and roll. The iRacing.com pace car is getting ready to dive down pit road. Who will win here in the beautiful Pocono Mountains of Northeastern Pennsylvania? We'll only know once the checkered flag flies. Reach way up there, pull those belts tight. We are green flag racing and underway at Pocono Raceway. Eugenio Alonso tried to take the lead away from Mike Wright, your points leader, but Mike Wright has claimed the lead early here as they roll out of turn number one. They're now going down the backstretch. Ladies and gentlemen, you will have to forgive us for the graphic issues at the top of your screen. There's a problem between the update of SDK and OBS, so we'll hopefully have that fixed by the end of this evening, but let's just make sure that we're focused right now on Mike Wright. As Mike Wright brings the field into turn three, we're going to move back here to Brandon Minto in the number 12 Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet. And Brandon Minto trying to get single file here behind Eugenio Alonso, as Eugenio has now built himself a 0.4 of a second lead over top of Brandon. And one driver stepping out of line back here looks to be about Chad Sanner here. Ian Humphreys in the number 32 as Ian is now loose going into turn 1. That'll make him check up. The 91 of Zachary Vaughn has to get out of the way. Not real sure exactly what's going on there with Ian, but obviously the cold tires have cost him early here. Mike Wright building himself quite a lead over Eugenio Alonso. It's Wright, Alonso, Minto, Blazer, Argerbright. Your top 5. We'll take a look here at Doug Argerbright in the number 38 Toyota Supra, sponsored by Great Clips, as he is chasing down Bobby Blazer, and Blazer out here in the number 90 machine as always. And Bobby's got that new green and black paint scheme on his Ford Mustang. That machine cranked all the way up here with 2 laps in now on lap 3 here at Pocono Raceway. And you have to, just to let everybody know what's going on this evening, folks. We are a total of 90 laps. Stage 1 is going to end at lap number 20, stage 2 at lap number 40. These drivers are laying 4 sets of tires. That means that they have a total of 5 sets of tires. And we are going to see them probably chew up, I would say, at least 2 of them. One of the things we found out last night in the NASCAR Next Gen cars was that the tires not as bad of a wear. We see Bob Nestor here on his home track, down 5 positions, but working the rear of Bennett Allen, as Bob, one of these drivers that, quite frankly, enjoys falling back a little bit, making some adjustments, and we're going to see him, being fairly conservative during stage number 1. But speaking of conservative, Bennett Allen working the inside of Aaron Mack, also in that Jeff Carson honorary Napa Auto Parts paint scheme, driving the number 31. As Aaron Mack working the outside, these 2 drivers side by side, and Mack now having to deal with Nestor. These 2 Toyota Supras, sponsored by Napa Auto Parts, chasing one another down the Long Pond backstretch, going into turn 3 from the tunnel. Rolling through, this should be an exciting battle as we come back toward the start-finish line. We can see a little bit of the snake that was exhibited during the truck race on Saturday, but nothing even close to what was going on there on Saturdays. Those trucks on Saturday afternoon were absolutely using this like a serpentine. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here at Pocono Raceway on lap 7 of 90. Finally got our graphic issues fixed here, so nothing like trying to build an airplane while it's in mid-flight. Mike Wright, your race leader now with 7 laps in, has built himself a 1 even second lead over Eugenio Alonso. Eugenio, Brandon Minto, Bobby Blazer, and Doug Argerbright rounding out your top 5. You know, one of the interesting things here about Pocono Raceway is that these 3 turns are, I'm going to say, fairly unique. in that they were more or less stolen. Standing by. Now I have to check Discord just in case there wasn't enough going on. Gotcha. Thank you, Rio. I see your message. Anyway, one of the interesting things about Pocono Raceway is, these three turns are so unique in that, one, from what I understand, was stolen from Indianapolis, another from Michigan, where this racetrack is truly a tricky triangle. And we can look at it here from our blimp, and, no other racetrack on the NASCAR circuit is a triangle. Now, you see there in the distance behind the grandstand, that is Route 940. And I'll tell you what, this is, when they say that this is in the middle of nowhere, those mountains off in the distance, those aren't even the Pocono Mountains. That is actually toward Hazleton, Pennsylvania. And that is actually the Broad Mountain out there in the distance. And, just a beautiful neck of the woods up there. Of course, during the wintertime, lots of skiing and snowboarding. During the summer, there are several lakes nearby. Lake Harmony, actually, right down the road from this piece. And great place to go hang out, have some drinks is Shenanigans or Nick's Pub down there. Great place. One of the things that I always like up there in the Poconos is they've got these great resorts like Kalahari or Great Wolf Lodge. You can always check out Camelback, which has Camel Beach during the summer. It's a water park, so next time you're planning a winter or a summer vacation or a getaway, check out the Pocono Mountains in Pocono Mountains, Pennsylvania. You can check them out at pmn.com. So far, a pretty clean race here this evening. Of course, I don't want to jinx it, but last night we had a great race in the Cup Series. And right now we see Aaron Mack trying to get caught back up Bennett Allen, and Bennett, of course, has about a 2.3 second lead over him. But Aaron Mack holding off Carlos Ramos, Zach Osborne, and Bob Nestor. So, oddly enough, it kind of looks interesting with all of these Napa Auto Parts machines out here tonight. It may get a little confusing from time to time, but at the end of the day, we're out here supporting our friend and our brother, Jeff Carson. I've been racing with Jeff now all year long. On the Joe Gibbs racing team on a Sunday night. And when it comes to someone who truly cares about his craft, as far as building setups and things like that, as we are an open setup league, Jeff is top of the line. And we see Carlos Ramos getting ready to make a move on Aaron Mack here, back for the battle of 7th position. Ramos side by side with Osborne. Now these two drivers, whoa, a little bit of contact between Ramos and Osborne. That was awful close. We stay green, no issues, no contact, everybody moving forward. And now Zach Osborne putting Aaron Mack in his crosshairs as they go through turn number 1. Bob Nestor wisely dropping back to stay out of the way, as sometimes these drivers can get a little hairy. And speaking of hairy, not a problem for Mike Wright up here, as all of that battling behind him has now opened up a 1.18 second, now 1.2 second lead over Eugenio Alonso in his number 86 Napa Auto Parts Toyota Supra. Brandon Minto leading the next little group here with Bobby Blazer and Bennett Allen in tow. This track kind of interesting, as it's definitely not your average intermediate track, as 3 completely unique and separate turns. Second of all, a large amount of, and of course we're also at 2 miles long, so we're going a total of 180 miles. But one of the interesting things here is that you need to draft a little bit, because the banking in turns 2 and 3 is not enough to use that momentum to really get a good run. The highest banking, of course, is turn 1. And if you are just tuning in on YouTube.com, I'm Dave Regal here with the Independence Racing Network. You're watching Mike Wright lead the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Pocono Raceway in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. We are on lap number 12 of 90, and if you are just tuning in on YouTube, Make sure that you subscribe and turn on those bell notifications so that you can be notified every time we go live here on the Independence Racing Network, as we are the exclusive broadcast provider of Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series racing.
There's a new approach to lawn care, Preen One Lawn Care. Preen One does away with the hassle of multiple bags of different products. It has everything you need for a beautiful lawn in one bag. And all it takes is one application. For season-long weed control and feeding, apply the granules when the lawn is wet and weeds are actively growing. It blocks crabgrass all season. It prevents crabgrass seeds from growing. It kills the seedlings too, even when applied 4 weeks after they sprout. It's your best defense against tough weeds like dandelion, chickweed, henbit, and hundreds more. Plus, its slow-release formula feeds the lawn evenly for months to build stronger roots for maximum heat and drought resistance. Preen One delivers convenience and better performance in one package with one application. Spend more time enjoying your lawn and less time working on it. Preen One, and it's done. It's a lawn dream come true.
Drivers that took time, all of them within 3.5 tenths of each other tonight is going to be a very closely competitive race.
As the field works its way out of the 3-4 complex, the only thing that's left to say is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness, because race fans, it's showtime!
Amazing looking cars already. Green flag will fly.
Oh, the wrecking! Well, one thing that you're going to see at this track that we haven't seen the last few weeks is a surface that's multi-group. I think this is the first multi-group surface we're going to have.
After an amazing race at Daytona, we now come to the left coast and Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the second round of the Way She Goes Racing League Cup Series.
In 2007, Ray Regal had a vision of serving his fellow firefighters' breathing air needs better. As a City of Reading firefighter since 1975, he knows the difficulties of finding the best and most affordable service company to care for and manage the most important means of survival firefighters have, breathing air. Northeastern Fire and Air is committed to providing our brothers and sisters with the best service in the industry and at an affordable cost. For more information, call 610-207-6608 for a consultation today and know that you can breathe easy with Northeastern Fire and Air.
I know belts and hoses, not X and O's. I do O2 sensors, but not defenses. Yeah, I make a right call to keep your car in the game. Don't even need a playbook, it's all in my brain. Fuel injectors, alternators, radiators too. It's who I am, it's what I do. Never know how. Never know how.
Welcome back to Pocono Raceway here at in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series. Here in the broadcast booth with me right now is my good friend, the godfather of Sunday Night NASCAR's family of racing, Leo Bonacasa. And Leo, is our race control tonight in the Xfinity Series. What's up, buddy?
Not much. What's going on, Dave? How are you?
Every day's a new adventure here, especially when you're in Northeastern Pennsylvania. Mike Wright out here leading the race. He's been running pretty clean all night.
Yeah, he's opened up a nice gap here to second place, Eugenio Alonso, and near the end of stage one here, so see how this shakes up.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I was talking a little while ago in our broadcast here is all of the Napa paint schemes, as Mike Wright, Eugenio Alonso both having Napa paint schemes, and of course then we go a little bit further back here to Aaron Mack in the number 31, Bob Nestor in the 29, so it's got to get kind of hairy, and Brandon Minto in the 12. It's got to get a little hairy for you in race control. Keeping an eye on everybody because they all kind of look alike.
Yeah, thank God for all this technology we got now in iRacing to differentiate between the cars, but it's good to see the support for Jeff Carson. Prayers to him and his family. I know he's going through a lot tonight and the coming days. It's never easy, but it's good to have a support system behind you.
Absolutely. I mean, I was talking earlier during the four-wide salute, and it was an absolute thing of beauty. It was perfectly orchestrated, and, it's always, whoa, we have a battle here for second. We will talk about our four-wide salute in a moment, but Eugenio Alonso and Bennett Allen side by side as they come back down the front stretch. My goodness, now they get one in front of the other as Eugenio still able to hold his position ahead of Bennett. And, you and I can both speak to this. Bennett Allen, probably not the driver that you want to be side by side with because you run a pretty good chance of winding up in the wall. As now Bennett, wow, trying to take the exit of turn one just a little bit wider to get a step over top of Eugenio. These two drivers looks like they're going to be battling it out as we are on the last lap of stage number one. Mike Wright comfortably here going to take the stage win, but Bennett Allen and Eugenio Alonso battling it out for those all-important bonus points.
Yeah, it's good to see Bennett having a good run up there. Hopefully we can keep it clean, and it's early on here. We're still going to have another 70 laps to go at the conclusion of this first stage.
Absolutely. I know that your fingers get ready to hit the trigger. We're waiting for, at this point, Brad Gunn to cross the start-finish line. And as I speak, it looks like Brad Gunn and Bob Nestor side by side. Nestor finish out that top 10 and get that bonus point as we are now under caution to complete stage number one. Mike Wright, your stage winner. That was a heck of a battle. Can't wait to talk to Bob about that later in the race. But right now, Leo, I'm going to drop you down to the waiting room while you monitor stage one pit stops. And I'm going to grab Mike Wright here. Hey, Mike Wright, Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, brother?
I got a copy.
Hey, man. Dominant win here in stage one. Seems like we talk every week, no matter whether you're winning a stage, winning the race, and you still sit on top of the points lead. How was that first stage? Obviously, you've got this machine dialed in, huh?
Yeah, it felt pretty good. Obviously, getting out front and kind of setting the pace alone was comfortable, and we definitely tried to get the setups for the long run, thinking we'd have some good long runs in it. So seemed pretty good there. So hopefully we can keep it going the rest of the way. We're gonna make a couple adjustments probably to see if we can make it a little better, even on the longer run for the last stage.
Yeah, these setups a lot of times are built for the short run, but at a place like Pocono, we have so many long green flag runs. I feel like the long run setup, which I was running last night at Pocono in Cup, was just absolutely dialed in. Even after I had damage, my car was great on the long run.
Yeah, I mean, even if you had like a 3-lap run to finish the race, it's still kind of a long run in a way because it's such a big track. So you definitely got to have something that'll hang on. So far we seem to have something pretty good for that. So see if we make it a little better for that last run, which we know could be pretty long, which I hope so. That'll be a little bit of fun. yeah, we'll see if we can keep the Carson Mobile up front here.
That was Mr. Mike Wright, and we see Mike in the number 9 Napa Auto Parts, as he called it, the Carson Mobile. And we are going to hop on over and see if we can get a hold of Mr. Bob Nestor after he gets his pit stall clear. Bob Nestor, Dave Regal. Bob Nestor, Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I hear you.
Hey, man, listen. Heck of a finish to the end of stage 1. We were following to see where you were. Well, actually, we were waiting to see when the 10th place car was going to cross the start-finish line. And, my God, what a finish.
Yeah, I had to get. He messed up on the exit. We were talking about it on radio. I took the opportunity to get that one stage point. So,
and get that one stage point you did. You definitely decided to try to drive the wheels off this machine. So one thing that I did want to touch base with you on is this paint scheme that you're running. There's about 5 cars in the field tonight running the Napa Auto Parts paint scheme in honor of our brother Jeff Carson. So looking good tonight, Bob.
Thanks, Dave. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Well, listen, good luck, and we'll get you back to your Discord, and we'll maybe see you on the other side of stage number 2 up there in the top 10.
All right, sounds good. And hey, Jeff, your family's in this entire league's thoughts and prayers, so couldn't do much, but hopefully the salute that we gave you in honor of your dad meant something for you. So again, we're praying for your brother.
And pray for him we will, and we're going to send Bob on back into his Discord. And Bob gets himself lined up, and as we get ready to go back green flag racing, Mike Wright going to be sitting atop the field yet again with Eugenio Alonso on the outside of row number 1. Row number 2 going to be Bennett Allen and Bobby Blazer. Row number 3, Brandon Minto and Carlos Ramos. Doug Argabright and Zach Osborne restarting in 6th. Bob Nestor gains a spot sitting on the inside. I'm sorry. Bob Nestor restarting in 9th, and Aaron Mack in 10th, rounding out the top 10. So these drivers getting themselves ready for another. It's going to be just slightly shy of 20 laps, as we should have about 16 laps at the end of stage number 2 as the iRacing.com pace car lights are out, which means that we should be going back green flag racing any moment now. And we see the iRacing.com pace car getting ready to drop down onto pit road. The man in the stand has the green flag in his hand. Call some friends, grab some popcorn, settle in. It's stage 2 green flag racing at Pocono Racing. I'll tell you what, folks, watching these cars hit one going down the backstretch, they are ready and out for blood, as they know that they have just 16 laps now at the end of stage number 2. And right now, trailing all the way here at the end, looks like Tony Burt in the number 4 trackbookings.com Chevrolet. And Tony, one of those drivers that is trying to get himself back on track here in the season in the number 4 Chevrolet Camaro. just trying to log some laps, stay out of trouble, and make things a little easier for him, as we do use an incidents per lap statistic as the threshold here in Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series racing. Zachary Vaughn in the number 91 securing away 17th position from Corey Burkert in the number 13 Ford Mustang. Brad Gunn now being chased down by Matt Gaskins in the number 79 in the Outcast Sim Paints Ford Mustang. I'll tell you what, that 11-10 was all kinds of excited there. And apparently something was going on with Carlos Ramos as he is getting himself. We're going to run back and take a look. There's Carlos Ramos. And it looks like Carlos Ramos had gotten himself just a little loose as he was working the inside of the 16 of Chad Sanner. I'm sorry, of Zach Osborne. Carlos gets down onto the apron, but manages to keep everything straight. And he is back rolling forward again. Brandon Minto, another Napa Auto Parts driver here, now running second to Mike Wright. Eugenio Alonso being chased down by Bennett Allen. Perhaps Eugenio had made a switch here. We're going to take a look from the front of the three. Of course, Bennett Allen chasing down Eugenio Alonso, not getting much of a run on him, but it looks like he's staying up high here in turn number one to save some tires. Still getting a good run on the exit of turn number one as he drafts right up to the rear of Eugenio Alonso. We can see that from that perspective. We'll take a look from the roll bar, and it looks like he wants to look to the inside of Eugenio, but Eugenio not exactly willing to give that up this evening. Can't really blame him, as now Eugenio is working the inside of Brandon Minto to try to take back P2 as they are side by side going into turn number three. Eugenio backs off a little bit, and it almost looks like Bennett Allen thinking about making it three wide, as these three cars have quite a knot being formed as we come down the front stretch. Here on lap number 29, sounds like Bob Nestor working around Zach Osborne yet again, as we had at the end of stage number one. Bob securing away sixth position now, marching his way toward the top five. And Bobby Blazer up here in the number 90 Ford Mustang. Brandon Minto, though, still battling it out with Bennett Allen here in the three. The 12 and the 3 going out at the Money House Racing Toyota Supra, leading the number 12 Napa Auto Parts, Napa Filters Chevrolet Camaro down the back stretch. These drivers going at it hammer and tongs now here in the middle of stage number two, allowing Mike Wright to open up this lead to about 3/4 of a second as he crosses the start-finish line for lap number 30. So we are now 1/3 of the way through this race and marching pretty well tonight, as all things considered. We should be doing about this amount of time, as we had a pretty clean stage number one. Bobby Blazer. Brad Gunn here in the number 10 spot right now, running P10, right where he started the evening off in the number 36 Toyota Supra, that 1110 machine, chasing down Aaron Mack, and it looks like Aaron Mack and the 38 of Doug Argerbright going to be going at it hammer and tongs for a little while longer here, as we can see Doug Argerbright just barely holding on to 8th position as Aaron Mack starting to get hungry. Looks like Bob Nestor may have grazed the wall just a hair. He's going to allow Zach Osborne to pass by respectfully, as at this point in the race, still pretty early. So to give you folks an idea of where we are, this basically is the absolute middle of nowhere. Quite frankly, the Pocono Mountains are, they're nowhere. We're about 45 minutes to an hour away from Pottsville, Pennsylvania, of course, home of the famed Yuengling Brewery. And, of course, the Yuengling Brewery, the oldest brewery in the United States. And just over where we can see from right here in our blimp cam, they're off to the horizon. That's the direction of Scranton, Pennsylvania. Scranton about an hour away from here yet by direction of I-80. Then just south, we're about an hour north of Allentown, and also about half an hour away from Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. Jim Thorpe, originally named Mach Chunk, was named for the greatest athlete of the first half of the 20th century, Mr. Jim Thorpe, James Francis Thorpe. He was a decathlon winner in the Olympics. He was a Native American, had attended the Carlisle Indian School, as it was once upon a time known. Now it is actually Thaddeus Stevens Trade School. But oddly enough, Jim Thorpe, when he had passed away, basically his wife was broke because he had developed a few issues in his life, and she needed to make some kind of money, so she basically shopped his body around. I mean, you have to understand, Jim Thorpe at that time in history was kind of like saying Roger Federer or, you know, Serena Williams or Derek Jeter. He was the best known person anywhere. And remember, Jim Thorpe also played football, baseball. He was an Olympic athlete. I mean, the man was an absolute legend in his own time. So when the opportunity had come available, basically his wife said, "Hey, I've got him. Would you like him?" And she pretty much sold him to the town of Mach Chunk, which Mach Chunk and East Mach Chunk were two separate towns. They agreed to merge and rename themselves Jim Thorpe in honor of the athlete. And the town's name still stands. And just a short drive down Route 903, which is right around the corner from here at Pocono Pocono Raceway. And, you know, the Poconos, of course, as I had mentioned earlier, a great place if you're trying to relax during the summer, during the winter, if you're active in winter kind of sports. You know, plenty to do here in the Pocono Mountains. In 2007, Ray Regal had a vision of serving his fellow firefighters' breathing air needs better. As a City of Reading firefighter since 1975, he knows the difficulties of finding the best and most affordable service company to care for and manage the most important means of survival firefighters have, breathing air. Northeastern Fire and Air is committed to providing our brothers and sisters with the best service in the industry and at an affordable cost. For more information, call 610-207-6608 for a consultation today, and know that you can breathe easy with Northeastern Fire and Air.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
I know belts and hoses, not X and O's. I do O2 sensors, but not defenses. Yeah, I make a right call to keep your car in the game. Don't even need a playbook, it's all in my brain. Fuel injectors, alternators, radiators too. It's who I am, it's what I do. Never know how. Never know how.
Welcome back to Pocono Raceway here in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Dave Riegel in the Conshohocken, Pennsylvania studios, along with Leo Bonacasa, our race control gentleman this evening. And I'll tell you what, Leo, right now, taking a look at Bennett Allen chasing down Mike Wright. Looks like Bennett trying to give Mike Wright a little bump here on the backstretch.
Yeah, he's going to try to push him, maybe make him overdrive this tunnel turn here. He's going to get a good exit off. He's going to look to make a nice move here coming out of 3 down the front stretch. He's peeking inside a little bit.
He swings to the outside and then chooses, basically, it looks like Mike Wright is guarding that low line because he knows exactly what you're talking about. And Mike Wright and Bennett Allen go whipping past the exit to turn 3, cross the start-finish line on lap number 39. And they are not going to be letting up anytime soon. We see these drivers side by side now here on the second to last lap of stage number 2. Bennett Allen now working the inside of Mike Wright. They are side by side, nobody giving anybody any room, as Mike Wright has about a half a car length lead, and as he gets off the throttle, it allows Bennett Allen to shoot down in past him here in turn number 2. As they head for turn 3, you got to figure somebody's got to blink fast, as now Mike Wright on the inside. This is the best battle that we've seen all evening so far, and I'll tell you what, I could not be happier. We're taking a look here from the blimp cam as we're coming back down the front stretch. Bennett Allen leading Mike Wright. Leo, this is a heck of a battle here on the last lap of stage number 2.
Yeah, this is pretty impressive here. We've had kind of a long, drawn-out green flag run both in stage 1 and now towards the end of stage 2, but it's good to see these two guys up there. Bennett ran him down. He came, he was about 5/10 back when this stage here got strung out single file, and he was able to run Mike Wright down. I've been watching his lap times consistently, just a few, a little bit better than Mike, but he got by him, and now trying to bring it home here for the stage win.
I completely agree, and right now Mike Wright doing his very best to chase him down, but it almost looks like he just doesn't have enough for Bennett Allen here in the final lap of stage number 2. Mike Wright looks to the inside, does not get the run that he was hoping for, as Bennett able to hold on to the lead. They will cross the start-finish line as they come right here on the front stretch. And Bennett Allen, your stage 1 winner, followed by Eugenio Alonso. Brandon Minto, a 3-way battle here, ends up with Zach Osborne finishing in 6th, Doug Argerbright in 7th, Carlos Ramos and Bob Nestor in 9th, and of course Brad Gunn rounding out the top 10 here, as we have now completed stage number 2. Leo, I am going to send you back down to the waiting room as I'm going to grab a hold of our stage number 2 winner, Mr. Bennett Allen. Bennett Allen, Dave Riegel in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, brother?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, congrats on that win here for stage number 2. You were just side by side with Mike Wright, who, as everybody knows, is a dominant force here in MNN Xfinity Series action. But listen, obviously you got that car dialed in. Were you saving tires, or did you make a change during pit stops?
I made a slight adjustment on the wedge during the pit stops, but that was basically it. I don't know how I might be saving tires, how I'm not, but Mike and Eugenio and Brandon just all looked really loose and really tight. But this car rotates the corner center really well, and it's just a rocket when you roll the top. But yeah, it's been fun battling with these guys up front. Been a little bit. I've been white knuckling the whole time, so my fingers are cramping, but it's been a lot of fun.
Hey, listen, if you're not cramping, that ain't racing, you know? I mean, you've got this number 3 Money House Racing Toyota Supra cranked all the way to crazy. So, you know, what are you thinking here for stage number 3 as you clear the debris off those tires? Are you going to be taking tires, fuel, and making an adjustment, or just tires, fuel, and go?
I really don't know. I might make an adjustment during the pit stop in between if we go green all the way. But it just really depends on what happens to the car as the race progresses to the end. I know I'm taking tires here for sure, but we'll just see what happens. I really don't know. It's not put to a T yet.
All right, brother. Well, listen, we have been thrilled to watch you through that second stage. So good luck in stage number 2. Come on down pit road, get 4 Mr. Feelgoods, a tank of Go Fast, and we'll see you on the other side.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That was Bennett Allen, your stage 2 winner, as we do see him coming on down pit road, as I just said. And he is going to get himself some pit service here. And, you know, I got to be honest with you, folks, it's a pleasure when we get to talk to these guys, because they work so hard all week long on these setups. And as we see Bennett Allen coming off of pit road, there's only one question left. Who's going to beat him? And it looks like Mike Wright going to beat him off of pit road. So we should see a restart that's going to be reshuffled. When we go back, green flag racing, Mike Wright going to be your race leader, followed by Bennett Allen, Eugenio Alonso, Brandon Minto, Zach Osborne, Bobby Blazer, Doug Argerbright, Carlos Ramos, Brad Gunn, and Zachary Vaughn rounding out the top 10. Tony Burt up 5 positions in the number 4 trackbookings.com Chevrolet Camaro. Bob Nestor, your MNN Xfinity Series commissioner, driving the number 29 Napa Auto Parts Toyota Supra, followed by his teammate Chris Claude in the number 10 Dasani Water Toyota Supra. John S. Bawaldo III, your Tuesday Night Thunder Trucks commissioner, teammate, of course, of Tony Burt in his number 51 trackbookings.com Chevrolet. Matthew Gaskins in the Outcast Sim Paints number 79 Ford Mustang, restarting in 15th. Aaron Mack restarting in 16th in his number 31 Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet Camaro. Toyota Supra. Chad Sander in the number 59 Black Rifle Coffee Chevrolet, followed by Ian Humphreys in his EE Sports Toyota. Randy Belk in the number 89, and Corey Burkett still getting himself wound back up. Will get himself out here restarting in 20th. Folks, if you are just joining us on YouTube.com, make sure that you subscribe and turn on those bell notifications, as we are the exclusive broadcast provider of Monday Night NASCAR, and we see the iRacing.com pace car getting ready to lead these cars down the backstretch with his lights off. So we know what that means. We will have green flag racing in just a few moments. And we see the iRacing.com pace car getting ready to dive down pit road. And we are back green flag racing here at Pocono Raceway. And we're going to step aside and let you folks turn it up and enjoy the sounds of Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series here on the Independence Racing Network. Of Ian Humphreys goes sideways. We're going to see exactly where he might have gone. Ian Humphreys getting himself back rolling again. We will take a moment here. And we see Humphreys in the 32 running along the high side of the wall, as he is drafting up into the 13 of Corey Burkett. Humphreys goes here on the inside of Burkett and just gets it loose on those cold tires coming out of turn number 2. Fortunately, nobody around, nobody involved except for Burkett himself, so that's a blessing in disguise if you ask me. Here on lap number 46 of 90, as we have now passed the halfway point. Mike Wright, your race leader, being followed by Eugenio Alonso, Bennett Allen, Brandon Minto, Bobby Blazer rounding out the top 5, as Eugenio Alonso and Mike Wright lead this piece in their Napa Auto Parts, Chevrolet, and Toyota. And, you know, folks, we do just want to let everybody know the reason that you do see so many Napa Auto Parts paint schemes tonight is our good friend, our brother, Jeff Carson, normally the driver of the number 9 Toyota Supra. He had lost his father last night, and our family has decided to step up and support him. And in their support, Eugenio Alonso stealing the lead away from Mike Wright, and Mike Wright falling back behind Bennett Allen as Bennett Allen parallel parks between Alonso and Wright. Anyway, Jeff Carson, normally the driver of the number 9 Napa Auto Parts Toyota Supra, he had lost his father yesterday morning, and his father, Thomas, had passed away. So these drivers here in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series decided, in order to support their brother's father and their brother, have decided, many of them, to paint their cars in the style of Mr. Jeff Carson, and just so glad to see that support, that outpouring of love from many people who have never even met each other in person. So, you know, the iRacing community, you know, blood may be thicker than water, but, you know, sometimes these screens are more powerful than anything when developing relationships among one another, even when we've never met in person. Whoa! Contact between the 51 and the 31. They're side by side. The 51 driven by John Bawalda. They're 3 wide now. Wow! The 59 of Chad Sander just gets into the 51, and there is pandemonium down the front stretch. We will take a second here, and my goodness, on lap number 50, we are under caution. We see the 59 getting one heck of a run here. Now the 59, the lower car here on your screen, lower right-hand corner of your screen, we see the 59 splitting the 31 and the 51, and he just gets right into the 51. My God. And then, and the 79 of Matt Gaskins gets involved. There is nothing but angry drivers right now, as Gaskins was kind of collateral damage if you look at it here from this perspective. Gaskins was saw the wreck happening in front of him and just had no place to go. And we'll see here the 31 about to get into the wall. The 31 gets into the wall. The 51 bumps him. Didn't see that. And then just as the 59 comes into the camera frame, looks like he tries to thread it. And we're going to just take a run back here. And we'll see this at quarter speed as we see Chad Sanner in the number 59. He just he panicked a little bit here and got himself loose and right down into the 51. And, of course, noses John Bawalda into the wall. And I guess John has been Bawalded here at Pocono Raceway. Bennett Allen, your race leader here at Pocono Raceway on lap number 51 of 90. So 40 laps to go in this piece. And quite frankly, folks, there is still a lot of race to go as far as competition, even with just 40 to go now past the halfway point. Taking a look once again at beautiful Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Off to the left side of your screen would be the area of Allentown, Pennsylvania. The Lehigh River runs down there into Allentown. This racetrack is in some of the most beautiful land in all of Pennsylvania, really all of the Northeast. So many lakes and small streams up here, and just a beautiful place to be.
I know belts and hoses, not X and O's. I do O2 sensors, but not defenses. Yeah, I make a right call to keep your car in the game. Don't even need a playbook, it's all in my brain. Fuel injectors, alternators, radiators too. It's who I am, it's what I do. Never know how. Never know how.
And folks, welcome into the broadcast booth of the Independence Racing Network here in Conshohocken, Pennsylvania. Bennett Allen, your race leader, as we get ready to restart as the iRacing.com pace car lights are out. Mike Wright going to be restarting in P2. Brandon Minto and Carlos Ramos make up row number 2. Row number 3 going to be made up of Bobby Blazer and Zach Osborne. Row 4, Doug Argabright and Brad Gunn. Bob Nestor and Zachary Vaughn going to round out the top 10 here as we get back underway. And a heck of a race so far, as this is the first caution for incident. The other 2 cautions that we've had were, of course, competition cautions at the ends of stage 1 and 2. We're on our way now to lap number 90, and these drivers not ready to be giving up at by any means. As we get ready to go back green flag racing, these drivers all night long have been basically side by side and tracing one another And quite frankly, they've got their act together. The Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series is among some of the best leagues in iRacing, especially when it comes to safe driving. These guys, week in and week out, are working their tails off to get things just right so that they can be out here and have good, clean, fun racing, which, to be completely honest, is sometimes hard to find on iRacing.com. So we see the iRacing.com pace car dropping down pit road. The man in the stand waves the green flag that he's got in his hand, and we are back underway at Pocono Raceway.
There's a new approach to lawn care, Preen One Lawn Care. Preen One does away with the hassle of multiple bags of different products. It has everything you need for a beautiful lawn in one bag. And all it takes is one application. For season-long weed control and feeding, apply the granules when the lawn is wet and weeds are actively growing. It blocks crabgrass all season. It prevents crabgrass seeds from growing. It kills the seedlings too, even when applied 4 weeks after they sprout. It's your best defense against tough weeds like dandelion, chickweed, henbit, and hundreds more. Plus, its slow-release formula feeds the lawn evenly for months to build stronger roots for maximum heat and drought resistance. Preen One delivers convenience and better performance in one package with one application. Spend more time enjoying your lawn and less time working on it. Preen One, and it's done. It's a lawn dream come true.
And we are back under caution here at Pocono Raceway as Ian Humphreys seems to have had himself a problem. We're going to take a look. And we see Ian Humphreys being chased down by the 13. Humphreys gets himself loose, but then we go 3 wide with the 89 in the middle, and my goodness, I'll tell you what, that looked kind of rough as we're going to take a look here at the 89. We're going to take a look here at the 89 right in the middle, and it almost looks like the 13 decided to forcibly move him out of the way. And I got to be honest, we're gonna take a look at this from several different angles, as I want to see right here from the. Let's watch the hands here of the 13 as he comes up on the outside of the 89, and definitely didn't look too intentional, to be honest. That may have just been shaky air coming through. And, I might be speaking too soon or out of school, but quite frankly, it looks like the 13 just forcibly moved the 89 out of the way. Back here with Leo Bonacasa, our race controller this evening. Leo, kind of an interesting incident there with the 13 and the 89. What did you see there from your perch in race control?
Yeah, the eye in the sky is watching there, Dave. Looks like the coming out of the tunnel turn there, it does narrow up. That wall kind of comes off a little bit. We had the 13 come off the wall, get into the 89, which then collected the 32. I believe the 31 of Aaron Mack was involved in that also. So that is, like they say in F1, that has been noted by the stewards, and we're going to take a look at that afterwards with the administration here at the league.
Oh, I'm sure that will be reviewed and argued profusely in Discord this evening.
Yeah, I'm sure the boxing ring and race chat, everything's going to be fired up tonight. But hey, it's entertainment, right?
I mean, listen, sometimes I go in there just to watch. But, hey, listen, great job diagnosing that, and I'll get you back up there to Pocono 3. But, Leo, have fun there in race control. Appreciate you, brother.
Yep, I'll be up there if you need me, Dave. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Great job as always.
That is Leo Bonacasa, our race controller. I've been calling him the godfather of SNN. As he's one of these guys in the SNN family that when the younger crowd starts getting a little restless, Leo can just kind of come in and calm the action, if you will. But the iRacing.com pace car lights are out, so the action may be calm for right now, but it looks like we are going to go back green flag racing as the iRacing.com pace car dives down pit road. Bennett Allen jumps out during the Geico restart zone. We are back green flag racing at Pocono. Eugenio Alonso working the inside of Zach Osborne. Zach Osborne getting the run here on the backstretch as we see these two drivers going at it, hammer and tongs right now. And on lap number 58 of 90, we see the torches and pitchforks starting to come out. Doug Argerbright seems to have had himself an incident. We will take a look here and see. It sounds like he missed a gear. And we see Doug Argerbright in the 38. And right here, there he is. Oh my, and he gets right into the nose of Bob Nestor. Nestor gets pushed by Tony Burt, and it's just an accordion. So we are back under caution here at Pocono Raceway. We will step aside and hear from our good friends over at Northeastern Fire and Air. In 2007, Ray Regal had a vision of serving his fellow firefighters' breathing air needs better. As a City of Reading firefighter since 1975, he knows the difficulties of finding the best and most affordable service company to care for and manage the most important means of survival firefighters have, breathing air. Northeastern Fire and Air is committed to providing our brothers and sisters with the best service in the industry and at an affordable cost. For more information, call 610-207-6608 for a consultation today and know that you can breathe easy with Northeastern Fire and Air.
Drivers that took time, all of them within 3.5 tenths of each other tonight is going to be a very closely competitive race.
As the field works its way out of the 3-4 complex, the only thing that's left to say is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness, because race fans, it's showtime!
Amazing looking cars already. Green flag will fly.
Oh, the rocket! Well, one thing that you're going to see at this track that we haven't seen the last few weeks is a surface that's multi-group. I think this is the first multi-group surface we're going to have.
After an amazing race at Daytona, we now come to the Left Coast and Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the second round of the Way She Goes Racing League Cup Series.
There's a new approach to lawn care, Preen One Lawn Care. Preen One does away with the hassle of multiple bags of different products. It has everything you need for a beautiful lawn in one bag. And all it takes is one application. For season-long weed control and feeding, apply the granules when the lawn is wet and weeds are actively growing. It blocks crabgrass all season. It prevents crabgrass seeds from growing. It kills the seedlings too, even when applied 4 weeks after they sprout. It's your best defense against tough weeds like dandelion, chickweed, henbit, and hundreds more. Plus, its slow-release formula feeds the lawn evenly for months to build stronger roots for maximum heat and drought resistance. Preen One delivers convenience and better performance in one package with one application. Spend more time enjoying your lawn and less time working on it. Preen One, and it's done. It's a lawn dream come true.
Glad to have you in with us tonight on the Independence Racing Network as the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series brought to you by Northeastern Fire and Air, RS Button Boxes, and Butt Kicker is ready to go get back underway as we have just had some interesting pit stops, a little interesting strategy here with just 30 laps to go now in this piece. Not sure if some of these drivers think that they can make it. Unfortunately, Carlos Ramos has not been in since lap number 42, so the rest of the field going to have to monitor his restart here, as we don't want to see him spin the tires and have himself an accident, as they would say at Shawshank Prison, if you're standing on the roof. Good clean restart so far as we see Carlos Ramos able to hold the field back behind him. And we see Eugenio Alonso and Mike Wright going at it side by side here. 3 Napa Auto Parts cars going at it hammer and tongs right now. Now it looks like Eugenio Alonso going on the inside of Carlos Ramos here in his number 97 Toyota Supra. Alonso securing P1, gets out in front and decides he wants to be the Pied Piper of Long Pond, PA, but not so fast, my friend, says Carlos Ramos, as they head into turn 2 and haul it off toward the exit. Mike Wright now working the inside of Carlos Ramos, trying to draft up to the rear bumper of Eugenio Alonso, but unfortunately, Carlos Ramos has that P2 secured right now pretty strongly so far, even having those older tires compared to Eugenio. And Carlos Ramos looking to make another run to the inside of Eugenio Alonso. We have a three-way battle for the lead, folks. Ramos now being passed by Mike Wright on the outside. Perhaps those older tires now showing their age, as Mike Wright secures P2 and now sets sail to chase down Eugenio, who now leads this piece by just a quarter of a second. Mike Wright opening up the gap between himself and Minto now, as looks like Ramos has now been passed by Brandon Minto. Ramos desperately trying to draft behind Minto and see if he can get back up there into that top 3 conversation. But at this stage in the game, I think Ramos, we may see start to drop back and lose positions, as he is going to smoke those tires like a Cheech and Chong movie, because he doesn't have as much grip as drivers like Minto, Wright, and Alonso. We see Bennett Allen throwing it down underneath Bobby Blazer here as we come back through the front stretch. Looks like Blazer going to be able to hold Allen off as they haul down into turn number 1. These drivers starting to get themselves single file, getting ready to start picking one another off one at a time, as we are at lap 66 of 90 here at Pocono Raceway. And you know, Pocono, one of those unique tracks, as we have spoken about several times this evening. And we're going to take a look here from that blimp view. Pocono, of course, 2 miles around, but not really around, more like 2 miles in a triangle. For lack of a better term, this racetrack is not a circle, not an oval, it's a triangle. And it is quite the tricky triangle. You see there on the left side of your screen what is known as the tunnel turn. You can see the driveway that goes out onto Long Pond Road, which runs along turns 2 and 3 here in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. That tunnel turn, a little treacherous, as it does have that bump in it that forms the tunnel itself, and that's how the haulers can get in and out of this racetrack. And, you know, quite frankly, we talk about the tunnel turn, turn 1, and these turns are so unique here. And, you know, speaking of unique, Mike Wright has a strong machine right now in his number 9 Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet Camaro. And just so everybody, whoop, looks like Mike Wright going for the lead, passes Eugenio Alonso. Yet another lead change as we come out of turn 2 and haul it off into turn 3. Now we can see these drivers coming down the front stretch, doing the same thing that they saw in the truck race on Saturday. Not really sure what that advantage is there. Hopefully we get a chance to talk to one of these drivers at the end of this race when the checkers fly.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
In 2007, Ray Regal had a vision of serving his fellow firefighters' breathing air needs better. As a City of Reading firefighter since 1975, he knows the difficulties of finding the best and most affordable service company to care for and manage the most important means of survival firefighters have, breathing air. Northeastern Fire and Air is committed to providing our brothers and sisters with the best service in the industry and at an affordable cost. For more information, call 610-207-6608 for a consultation today and know that you can breathe easy with Northeastern Fire and Air.
I know belts and hoses, not X and O's. I do O2 sensors, but not defenses. Yeah, I make a right call to keep your car in the game. Don't even need a playbook, it's all in my brain. Fuel injectors, alternators, radiators too. It's who I am, it's what I do. Never know how. Never know how.
Welcome back to Pocono Raceway. We've been watching Bobby Blazer climb up through the field as we were side by side paying some bills. Bobby Blazer just secured away fourth position from Brandon Minto, digging himself deeper into that top 5 region. And right now, it looks like he is putting Eugenio Alonso in the crosshairs as he is going to close in on him, as Eugenio is now down to just a 0.88 second lead over Blazer. Checking in now on Bob Nestor. Looks like he is coming down pit road, as not sure if he's having some type of a mechanical issue. We'll get a look here. Keeping it right at 3,000 RPMs here on the helmet cam of Nestor. Nestor looks into the pit crew and gets himself lined up here. Not real sure exactly what he's got going on. Looks like he's going to get 4 tires early here on lap number 70. 71, as we are 20 to go. So he figures this should be about the same amount of time that he had during stage 1 and 2. So he's thinking pit often, pit early here at Pocono. Mike Wright, Bennett Allen, Eugenio Alonso, Bobby Blazer, and Brandon Minto make up your top 5. Rounding out the top 10 is Carlos Ramos, Zach Osborne, Chris Claude, Zachary Vaughn, and Corey Burkett in the number 13 Ford Mustang. Corey now chasing down Zachary Vaughn. Zachary having a pretty good race tonight as he is up 11 positions. Your biggest plus side mover of the night. Of course, your biggest downside mover of the night at this point is Bob Nestor and Doug Argerbright. Both of those drivers down 11 positions from where they had started, but Bob just dropping back because, you know, he had come in for pit service. Oddly enough, Pocono Raceway, if you time it just right, you won't lose a lap, so to speak, or much of a lap, as Bob Nestor just gets passed by Mike Wright, who, of course, Mike probably going to have to come in for pit service here pretty soon, as we are at 18 to go at Pocono Raceway. And folks, right now we encourage you to turn it up and enjoy the sounds of Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series racing on the Independence Racing Network, brought to you by Northeastern Fire and Air, Butt Kicker, and RS Button Boxes. Watching a pretty good battle here between Corey Burkett and Zachary Vaughn. Zachary Vaughn up 11 positions this evening in the number 91 Toyota Supra, being chased down by Corey Burkett in his 1110 Ford Mustang. And right now, Burkett looking to the inside of Zachary Vaughn. He may have the run to get himself about even, but Zachary Vaughn has enough to get himself back out front of Corey Burkett. These drivers tonight have kept themselves fairly organized, to be honest with you folks, as we've only had, a couple of cautions for incident, and the only other two cautions were, of course, competition cautions at the end of stages 1 and 2. So a lot of these drivers all night long have been keeping their noses fairly clean. And right now, Bennett Allen challenging Mike Wright for your race lead, as Bennett Allen sniffing that rear bumper. But, I got to be honest with you, I think right now he's probably better off just hanging out behind Mike Wright, as Mike Wright is almost like a shark. He's going to let Bennett Allen go in front of him, watch Bennett Allen smoke the heck out of his tires, and take the lead easily without 5 laps to go. That seems to be the normal move that you could make there, and we'll see if that's what breaks loose here at Pocono Raceway. Taking a look now at Bob Nestor, who has gotten himself here into 13th position. They drive past Tony Burt, and looks like Tony Burt going to be asked to go high yet again, as now the 16 driven, of course, by our good friend Zach Osborne, getting into the mix as he is trying to get around Tony Burt. And to be completely honest, folks, there's nothing to be ashamed of, and it almost looks here like Bob Nestor hanging on to his iRacing life, as he wants to stay that lucky dog.
Drivers that took time, all of them within 3.5 tenths of each other tonight is going to be a very closely competitive race.
As the field works its way out of the 3-4 complex, the only thing that's left to say is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness, because race fans, it's showtime!
Amazing looking cars already. Green flag will fly.
Oh, the rocket! Well, one thing that you're going to see at this track that we haven't seen the last few weeks is a surface that's multi-group. I think this is the first multi-group surface we're going to have.
After an amazing race at Daytona, we now come to the left coast and Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the second round of the Way She Goes Racing League Cup Series.
There's a new approach to lawn care, Preen One Lawn Care. Preen One does away with the hassle of multiple bags of different products. It has everything you need for a beautiful lawn in one bag. And all it takes is one application. For season-long weed control and feeding, apply the granules when the lawn is wet and weeds are actively growing. It blocks crabgrass all season. It prevents crabgrass seeds from growing. It kills the seedlings too, even when applied 4 weeks after they sprout. It's your best defense against tough weeds like dandelion, chickweed, henbit, and hundreds more. Plus, its slow-release formula feeds the lawn evenly for months to build stronger roots for maximum heat and drought resistance. Preen One delivers convenience and better performance in one package with one application. Spend more time enjoying your lawn and less time working on it. Preen One, and it's done. It's a lawn dream come true.
Eight laps to go here. Mike Wright, your race leader in the number 9 Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet Camaro, followed by Bennett Allen in the number 3 Toyota Supra, and Bobby Blazer rounding out your podium so far this evening. Zach Osborne and Brandon Minto round out the top 5 as Carlos Ramos is coming down pit road to get his final service. This will be the money stop with 7 to go. Mike Wright, your Stage 1 winner. Bennett Allen, your Stage 2 winner. And Bobby Blazer be your race winner? No one knows yet, but things are starting to heat up here in the MNN Xfinity Series. Mike Wright has himself one commanding lead over Bennett Allen, 3.1 seconds to the good over Bennett, and Bennett himself has a 5-second lead over Blazer. Now, Mike Wright and Bennett Allen both have not been in since laps were being logged in the 50s. Bennett Allen coming in at lap number 59. Mike Wright at 55 with 6 to go. You start to wonder to yourself, am I going to make it all the way? Have I gambled a little too hard? Things are definitely starting to come into focus for many of these drivers. Chris Claude also not having come in since lap number 55. So things starting to look a little interesting here as even Bob Nestor came in on lap number 70. He's hoping that many of these drivers wind up having to come in for service. Bob Nestor and then Carlos Ramos coming in on lap number 83. So these drivers definitely with the more tread-filled tires and hopefully the faster cars here as we go into this final 5 laps. Five to go here. Dave Regal in the Conshohocken studios of the Independence Racing Networks. Glad to have you all in with us tonight on YouTube.com. Make sure that you subscribe and turn on those bell notifications as we are the exclusive broadcast provider for Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series racing here on iRacing.com. Right now with 4 to go, Mike Wright has now built himself a 5-second lead over top of Bennett Allen. Bennett Allen driving even further away from Bobby Blazer at 4.81 seconds. Interestingly enough, between Bobby Blazer and Zach Osborne then chasing him down, there's also quite a distance as Zach Osborne trailing Blazer by 4.8 seconds. So anything possible here. We could have mechanical failure or, God forbid you ran out of fuel because you were, a little piggish here. But with 4 to go, I think we're going to see a good finish to this race. Bennett Allen still trying to chase Mike Wright down, but Mike Wright has put on that extra speed here as he has won stage number 1. And we are under caution with 3 to go. Carlos Ramos and Zachary Vaughn evidently getting into it. Oh my, and we can see the 91 of Zachary Vaughn maybe being, getting this car about loose as a goose as he came out of turn number 2. We can see that he was just wiggling along here. And my goodness, just came right up into the left front fender of the 97 of Carlos Ramos. So here we are under a green-white checker scenario. And you will have to excuse me, folks, as it looks like our YouTube has been hacked once again, and we've got some spam to take out. Well, folks, we are in NASCAR overtime, and that will allow Mike Wright, Bennett Allen, Bobby Blazer, Zach Osborne, Brandon Minto, Chris Claude, Corey Burkett, Brad Gunn, Randy Belk, probably Zachary Vaughn, I'm assuming, is going to stay out here. Bob Nestor, your lucky dog, making it around. But looks like your top 9 have all decided to come in for pit service, as we should see a couple of 4 tires. There we go. Mike Wright on fresh tires is going to be quite dangerous. And, one thing to remember is that, he's got 9 wins this season.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
In 2007, Ray Regal had a vision of serving his fellow firefighters' breathing air needs better. As a City of Reading firefighter since 1975, he knows the difficulties of finding the best and most affordable service company to care for and manage the most important means of survival firefighters have, breathing air. Northeastern Fire and Air is committed to providing our brothers and sisters with the best service in the industry and at an affordable cost. For more information, call 610-207-6608 for a consultation today, and know that you can breathe easy with Northeastern Fire and Air.
I know belts and hoses, not X and O's. I do O2 sensors, but not defenses. Yeah, I make a right call to keep your car in the game. Don't even need a playbook, it's all in my brain. Fuel injectors, alternators, radiators too. It's who I am, it's what I do. Never know how. Never know how.
And folks, welcome back as we are under green-white checker conditions now. And of course, it looks like once again our graphics have decided to disappear and be difficult. Always an interesting thing here. Working on that as we speak. Definitely not the time that we wanted that to happen, but here we are. Of course, we know how many laps there are left. Once we take this green flag, we will race around again and complete that lap. If we complete that lap under green, the white flag will come out, and then the next flag will end the race. Now, the opposite side of that coin is if during that green flag lap there is a caution, we will reset and do this all over again. The iRacing.com pace car dives down pit road. Mike Wright hits the Geico restart zone, and we are in NASCAR overtime at Pocono Raceway. Mike Wright leads the field down through the front stretch into turn number 1. And we see as he hauls it off into turn 1, Chris Claude looking to the inside as if he is ready to start making the challenge toward that top 5. And we see Claude, my goodness, working the inside of Bobby Glacier. Overdrives turn 1. Oh, my God. Chris Claude getting it all wrong. My goodness. Has the 89 wrapped up in it. We are going to take a look at that as Chris Claude, usually not that kind of a driver, just overdrove turn 1, it appeared. And we're going to look at this from the restart itself. Chris Claude there in that teal and black paint scheme going into turn 1, leading the 89, and we just see him simply overdrive it. That back end comes out from underneath the number 10 Dasani Water Toyota Supra. He gets a double doink, and that will end Chris Claude's night more than likely here at Pocono Raceway. So, folks, looks like we will be restarting this all over again. And yet again, here I am having to clean up some spam in the YouTube.com feed.
Drivers that took time, all of them within 3.5 tenths of each other tonight is going to be a very closely competitive race.
As the field works its way out of the 3-4 complex, the only thing that's left to say is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness, because race fans, it's showtime!
Amazing looking cars already. Green flag will fly.
Well, oh, the wreck-it! Well, one thing that you're going to see at this track that we haven't seen the last few weeks is a surface that's multi-group. I think this is the first multi-group surface we're going to have.
After an amazing race at Daytona, we now come to the West Coast and Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the second round of the Way She Goes Racing League Cup Series.
I know belts and hoses, not X and O's. I do O2 sensors, but not defenses. Yeah, I make a right call to keep your car in the game. Don't even need a playbook, it's all in my brain. Fuel injectors, alternators, radiators too. It's who I am, it's what I do. Never know how. Never know how.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
And here we are for green-white checker attempt, NASCAR overtime number 2. As Mike Wright, Bennett Allen, and Zach Osborne are on the podium right now. Mike Wright has control of the field, enters the Geico restart zone. And we are in overtime number 2 at Pocono Raceway in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series. Mike Wright hauls it off down the front stretch, gets himself set way wide, and gets ready to arc this car down onto the entry of turn 1. He's able to hold that yellow line now that he's got those fresh tires after stopping just before overtime number 1. They are side by side, Minto and Bennett Allen are, as we have a three-way battle right now for third position, and looks like it's not going to calm down anytime soon. As, whoa, looks like the 16 goes way down, tries to get himself an extra run around the side. That opens the door for Brandon Minto to shoot himself back up. We are back, oh my goodness, under caution again as Tony Burt has now crashed. And we see Tony Burt right here. We'll take a look from the chopper. Oh my, looks like Bob Nestor got up into the 31 and collected Tony Burt. Yeah, that looks pretty rough there for the 29. And we're going to see one more time. That's Bob Nestor there in the middle of the 31 of Aaron Mack. as we can see these drivers coming down into turn 2 off the backstretch. We're going to run this at about quarter speed once we get there. And here we go. Now we're going to see the 31 come down and just clip the front of the 29 who was holding his line. And Bob, not usually one of those kind of drivers that can that gets himself loose like that. And we just see the 29 coming down and just chopping the nose off of the 29. The 31 chopping the nose off the 29 into the 4. And here we sit, now ready for overtime number 3.
There's a new approach to lawn care, Preen One Lawn Care. Preen One does away with the hassle of multiple bags of different products. It has everything you need for a beautiful lawn in one bag. And all it takes is one application. For season-long weed control and feeding, apply the granules when the lawn is wet and weeds are actively growing. It blocks crabgrass all season. It prevents crabgrass seeds from growing. It kills the seedlings too, even when applied 4 weeks after they sprout. It's your best defense against tough weeds like dandelion, chickweed, henbit, and hundreds more. Plus, its slow-release formula feeds the lawn evenly for months to build stronger roots for maximum heat and drought resistance. Preen One delivers convenience and better performance in one package with one application. Spend more time enjoying your lawn and less time working on it. Preen One, and it's done. It's a lawn dream come true.
I know belts and hoses, not X and O's. I do O2 sensors, but not defenses. Yeah, I make a right call to keep your car in the game. Don't even need a playbook, it's all in my brain. Fuel injectors, alternators, radiators too. It's who I am, it's what I do. Never know how. Never know
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
In 2007, Ray Regal had a vision of serving his fellow firefighters' breathing air needs better. As a City of Reading firefighter since 1975, he knows the difficulties of finding the best and most affordable service company to care for and manage the most important means of survival firefighters have, breathing air. Northeastern Fire and Air is committed to providing our brothers and sisters with the best service in the industry and at an affordable cost. For more information, call 610-207-6608 for a consultation today and know that you can breathe easy with Northeastern Fire and Air. Well, folks, this is our third and final attempt at NASCAR overtime. The iRacing.com pace car lights are out, which means that when we come to the start-finish line this time, that will be the last time the starter has to wave the green flag. As we can see all these drivers who have fought all night long, they're exhausted and tired. My goodness. And a lot of them are very, very angry. The iRacing.com pace car dives down pit road one more time. The man in the stand waves the green flag he's got in his hand. And we are underway one more time here in NASCAR overtime. Mike Wright leads the field and hauls off down into turn number 1. Takes that wide arc and brings Bennett Allen along with him. Brandon Minto in the number 12 Napa Auto Parts Filters Chevrolet Camaro Now trying to hold off Zach Osborne in the number 16, 11, 10 Toyota Supra. Looks like Osborne and Minto going to be going at it hammer and tongs as now Osborne works the inside of Minto, gets the run on him coming through. Oh, they make contact and he puts Minto into the wall. That allows, and that will bring out the third and final caution and will end the race. So the field is going to have to reset so that iRacing.com can get the scoring just right, and we will be right back. Going to take one more look here as we're waiting for the field to complete their final lap under caution here. We are going to go to Brandon Minto in the 12. And we saw Brandon Minto, and perhaps your broadcaster here was just a bit hasty. We're going to go to the chopper cam and get right up behind these two drivers. We see Minto here in the 12 on the right side. Then, of course, that's the 16 of Zach Osborne on your left. And we're going to slow this bad boy down and see if we can look at something fairly accurate. The 12 is up here along the wall. And it looks like the 12 is just going to come down and clip that right rear of the 16. Ultimately, of course, ending tonight's race. So we are going to get ready to go ahead and talk to our podium in just a few moments. And folks, do want to thank you for hanging out with us tonight as we have had some great racing here in the MNN Xfinity Series. And, got to be honest with you, folks, for all of you that were watching us all night long, thank you, because we genuinely do appreciate you here at the Independence Racing Network, as your viewership helps us get out there to more eyeballs. And make sure that you're subscribing and turning on those bell notifications. Make sure you give us a thumbs up, too, while you're at it, since you're in the neighborhood. And let people know that you are watching us and that we do entertain you. Of course, something that absolutely cannot be done without saying tonight, that your race winner, Mike Wright, running that Napa Auto Parts paint scheme in honor of our friend and our brother Jeff Carson as he mourns the loss of his father. And we see Mike Wright coming down the front stretch, getting just across the start-finish line here, and he is going to line up. And we're going to pop in and see if we can't get a hold of him. Mike Wright, Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, brother?
I got a copy.
I'm going to take that little touch of your throttle as, yes, sir, that is a copy. So the Greensboro, North Carolina native comes up here to Northeastern Pennsylvania, just outside of Blakesley, Pennsylvania, and You dominate once again on the 2-mile tricky triangle here in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series. Buddy, one heck of a run. What do you say?
Thank goodness for long runs. I've been at some good pace there, so I figured, as hard as we both were running, that I was hoping that we'd have some tire life at the end of the run, and it paid off. And then just when we were going to relax a little bit, we had some cautions there, so I think we're still in pretty good shape. On that last pit stop, I changed up some things for some short run speed that I think was probably going to be good for a couple laps. So I felt pretty good about it, but Bennett had a good race. I think that's the best race I've seen him run when I've been racing. So that was good to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I know when I saw you come down there and get that last round of tires, I thought, well, that should just about seal the deal for you because, on fresh tires, you're, quite frankly, unstoppable. Heck, on old tires. So obviously getting that short run speed here at the end of the race was exactly what you needed to seal the deal.
Yeah, I think we were probably good either way. But yeah, we had a pretty good run there with Bennett there in the last 15, 20 laps of that long run, and then just a light switch, and you could tell we were saving a little bit more on the tires. So fun race, long race, but fun race. It's a unique place, obviously, and glad to get the win, and happy to do it in the Carson Mobile here. Hearing about his dad, and this isn't much, putting the Napa on the car and switching the number to the 9 for him, but felt like it was an easy thing to do to just show him a little bit of support, and I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been talking about that a few times tonight, and I mean, listen, you if anybody's going to do it the right way to honor someone, you definitely did it by bringing home the checkered flag. So, and I'm sure that Jeff was checking in on the race periodically, maybe to get his mind off of things there at home. So, Jeff, hopefully if you're out there watching, I hope that you're proud of what your boy Mike did here because, listen, that brotherhood runs deep. It's actually kind of hard for me to say tonight that Mike Wright was driving a Chevrolet Camaro, and, that was hard for me.
A little odd, a little weird.
Trust me, I get it, brother. But listen, anybody else that you'd like to tip your helmet to tonight before we cut you loose?
Brandon is always fun running with him. I think, it seemed like everybody up around where I was seeing people had some pretty good runs tonight, and got a little crazy at the end, but that's not unsurprising. So it was a good run, and hopefully we can do some more fun tomorrow in the trucks and go from there. And I want to thank everybody else that put Napa on the car too. Appreciate them doing a little bit for it as well.
Absolutely, brother. All right, man. Well, listen, as always, because I say as always, this is your 10th win of the season. That means it's been our 10th conversation. But listen, congratulations.
I enjoy talking to you.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I enjoy talking to you. It's kind of like at this point, 10 times is, I feel like we have to change our Facebook statuses or something to good friends at this point.
Yeah, but, jump in the car anytime you want. Chat.
All right, man. Well, listen, you go out there, you do that victory lap, and we'll catch up with you next week.
All right. See you later.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was our race winner, Mike Wright, as he is going to take that victory lap. The next driver we're going to get is second position on our podium tonight, Bennett Allen of the number 3. Bennett Allen, Dave Regal up in a broadcast booth. You got a copy, brother?
Yes, sir, Mr. Regal.
Hey, man, listen, heck of a run tonight, and you know what? Couldn't have asked for it at a better time. Just here as the sun is setting in northeastern Pennsylvania. I mean, you guys did a great job putting on a good show for the fans, and of course honoring Jeff Carson and his late father.
Yeah, man, it was really a fun race. Huge thanks to the Josh Coppernoll and Leo Bonacasa. They're just right there on my side basically the whole time, coaching me, telling me where to go. Josh was a huge help on the spotter stand, man. I couldn't thank him more. And I want to thank Aaron for giving me the setup, man. I was struggling all week trying to find the right setup. I came in here today and got the right one. I tuned it up a little bit, got it run the way I wanted to run. But yeah, we are thinking about Jeff and his family. We'll be praying for him. and hoping he can get back out here soon. But I just want, if he's listening, I just want to tell you to take your time, man. It's gonna be a long road, but don't be in a rush to get back racing. Just take your time, and we are here for you, man.
Absolutely, man. Well said, very well said. And you've got this money house machine up here yet again. So we're looking forward to seeing what you can pull off next week over at Indianapolis. So anybody else you should like to tip your helmet to before we cut you loose tonight?
Of course, I just want to thank Money House Racing in general. I'm always repping them on my car. Leo over here, taking me out into his team when no one else really kind of wanted me. Just because I tend to have a really aggressive racing style, and not many people like that, and I'm working on that. And I want to thank JCTV for being, one of the sponsors. They're not in the car, but they're going to be a big sponsor coming up in the next couple weeks. We're going to get a car together for I think either next week or Michigan. And just everyone on these teams, just right here on my side, teaching me different things, and just helping me continue to grow as a iRacing driver and as a person. And it means a whole lot. And just hopefully moving forward, we can continue to learn, continue to learn how to be less aggressive, and take the runs that we have. And just a huge thanks to everybody. It means a lot.
Listen, man, well said, and we appreciate you. We can see you growing as a driver, and so many of us in this series, week in and week out, are doing nothing but improving, and you are absolutely one of those. So, Bennett, very good to hear from you. Of course, always great to talk to you, and we will see you next week at Indianapolis.
Yes, sir. Can't wait.
All right, brother man. Finally, before we end our evening, we do need to talk to the third step of the podium, Mr. Zach Osborne of the number 16 Toyota Supra fame. Zach Osborne, Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, listen, great run tonight here for third. Looks like you were getting a little hairy back there with the 12 late in this race. How do you feel here at the end?
Yeah, definitely. It was a wild end to the race, right? 3 green, white checkers, and a little run-in with Brandon there at the end. We both kind of overdrove it down into 2, and I got lucky and kind of didn't get the bad end of it. So apologies to him if it was on me. Like I said, we were racing hard for third, and all in all, a really good night for the whole team. So I'm stoked.
Yeah, you know what they say on the Dale Jr. download: if you're not rubbing, you're not racing. So they also say if you're not cheating, you're not racing. But that's a heck of a lot harder to do here in iRacing. But rubbing is racing, man. And on the last lap, especially with the situation that we had tonight, I mean, using up all of the NASCAR overtime opportunities, it was go time.
It was indeed, yeah. I wasn't really sure what was going to happen there. I made a little adjustment. Chad gave me some pointers on what to do on that last pit stop, so I could send it in there a little bit more, and then we ended up going another, 7 or 8 laps of race laps. So I didn't really need the adjustment, but we got her done. Super stoked, and I actually bought the track today. I had never driven it, and I got like maybe 15 laps in before the race, so I'm stoked with this third place, and hopefully I can build and maybe get in the playoffs. I'm gonna miss a couple weeks coming up here because of some travel, but other than that, I'm really stoked. I'm enjoying this Monday Night League. I appreciate Chris and Bob and John, everybody that puts it on, and all the effort that everyone puts in, especially just to keep it what I feel is a really fun, clean atmosphere. And thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely, man. I mean, here's the thing: in a league like this, especially the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series, I mean, clean driving makes it for fun driving. It's great when we can go a stage and 3/4 without one caution for incident. With just your competition caution, so it keeps things pretty exciting out on track. So, next week Indianapolis Road Course. How you feeling about that?
I actually won't be home, so maybe that's lucky.
Well, aren't you lucky?
Yeah, I think so. But I'll be back at a little bit later in the season, so hopefully I can still get into the playoffs, and I would love to get a win. But man, Mike's unreal. He's super clean, and it shows. He's just the cream of the crop right now, and it's crazy to watch. I envy him a little bit on his style. He's so smooth and just does the job. It's awesome to watch.
Absolutely. Before we cut you loose, is there anybody else that you need to tip your helmet to?
Yeah, man. Just all the boys on the 11-10 team. Chad for hooking us up with all the good sets that we get. Brad, Zach, Corey, everybody that is in our group. We have a blast. We might get into some incidents every now and then, or cause some wrecks, but we have a blast on our end on our Discord channel. And yeah, I enjoy being in this league and being with the boys. It's awesome.
All right, man. Well, if anything, enjoy the travel, enjoy the time off, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks, brother.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Dave.
And that was Mr. Zach Osborne. So we've got another one in the books here in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series. And, tonight was a special night for many of us in the MNN and SNN family of racing, especially here on the Independence Racing Network, as our good friend, our brother Jeff Carson is hurting. We are out here racing, but Jeff, we carry you in our hearts. We carry you in our cars. We carry you here at the microphone. And we are family. We may not have blood between us, but we have racing between us, and we have, heart between us. So, everybody out there listening, make sure that you do keep the Carson family in your prayers, as they have lost their father, their patriarch, Thomas. And keep Jeff Carson in your prayers, because he's more than a father to Jeff. He's dad. So let's take one more look here at our race results, brought to you by Butt Kicker and RS Button Boxes. Mike Wright, your race winner. Bennett Allen in P2. Zach Osborne finishing in third. Bob Nestor finishes in fourth, nice and healthy there after being knocked out earlier. Corey Burkett in fifth rounds out the top five. Bobby Blazer, Aaron Mack, Brad Gunn, Chris Claude finishing in ninth, and Zachary Vaughn rounding out the top 10. Brandon Minto finishes 11th with Tony Burt in the number 4 Chevrolet Camaro from trackbooking.com finishing in 12th. Carlos Ramos in the number 97 Toyota Supra finishes 13th. Randy Belk, Eugenio Alonso, Ian Humphreys, Doug Argerbright, Matt Gaskins, John Bawalda, and Chad Sanner round out the 20 cars in tonight's field. And just a heck of a race tonight. Of course, triple overtime situation, so something that we don't get to see very often. And, of course, that triple overtime ended with a caution anyway, which left Mike Wright atop the leaderboard. He will maintain his points lead here in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series. So a lot going on there in points, but the one thing that almost never changes is Mike Wright atop the pile. So for everyone here at the Independence Racing Network, Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series, for everyone at RS Button Boxes, Butt Kicker, Northeastern Fire and Air, Preen Lawn Care, and of course Napa Auto Parts, we'd like to say thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and tomorrow make sure that you find that one moment, find a happy thought, and fly. Good night, everybody.